In 2024, Republican United States presidential nominee Donald Trump faced challenges in the courtroom, to his business, to his reputation, and even to his life. Ultimately, he and his conservative message won anyway. But conservatives are facing challenges all over the globe. In Romania, an election was declared null and void when a conservative candidate did far better than expected. In Poland, the sitting pro-European prime minister has cut off all funding for the Conservative Party, removed the nation's top prosecutor illegally, and is simply ignoring decisions of Poland's Supreme Court. How is this possible, and what are the political implications? I sat down with Patryk Jaki, a member of European Parliament from Poland.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Prime Minister Tusk. There are some things you pointed out that don't seem to be quite right here. And I want to kind of run through that checklist and get a full explanation, full understanding of what's going on. As you've described it, the Prime Minister took over the prosecutor's office by force. Explain to me what happened and what the rationale from the Prime Minister's office was for this.
So after Tusk came to power, so maybe first I need to explain how our Polish system look like, because we have executive power, we have division of executive power. So some executive power is in the hand of the Prime Minister, and the other is in the President of Republic.
Right.
So in Polish system, if you would like to change state prosecutor, Prime Minister need to have approval from President of Republic, and Tusk simply didn't ask President and use force to seize the buildings. So it's unprecedented.
And describe for me what used force means, because I think that's really important that people understand.
So he used simply police and prisoner office system to seize the buildings. So alleged state prosecutor go to court, and the highest courts in Poland, so Constitutional Tribunal and Supreme Court, rules that. For us, it was obvious that there is the legal state prosecutor, and Tusk should restore him. And you can find the video when he legal general state prosecutor came to his office, because he has Supreme Court and the Constitutional Tribunal rules. Tusk simply used police to defend buildings. So it's like I said, it's unprecedented in modern history. This kind of case in Western civilization.
And you led into my next question, and that is, surely there is some redress in the court system that someone can go and say, and you mentioned the Supreme Court, can't the court say, I'm sorry, Mr. Prime Minister, you are out of line, this needs to be corrected?
Yeah, the Supreme Court did it, but Tusk don't care. So he said he know that he broken the law, but he don't care. So because he is keeping police, and he is keeping the state force. So that's why it's really difficult. And he representing the mainstream parties from the European Union. He is a German puppet in fact. So that's why he has background from Germany, so he can do whatever he wants.
And I want to be very clear, specifically, what did the court order him to do? When we say the court ordered him to correct it, what does that mean? What did they give for an order?
To restore the legal state prosecutor. And in Polish system, legal state prosecutor is the most important prosecutor in Poland, and he has the big power to do everything when it comes to criminal code area.
And everything we've talked about now, up till now, has been factual. Okay, this is what he did, this is when he did it, this is what the reaction was. But let me ask a political question, and that is, why does he want the old prosecutor out?
Because he simply announced for his opposition Nuremberg. So this is his exact words.
Nuremberg.
For those who are not interested in history, Nuremberg was simply hanging Nazis. So Tusk wants simply revenge because when we were in power, we find lots of his close friends were corrupt. His chief of cabinet, we find the bribery in his own house, more or less 5 billion zlotys. And it was a big investigation with Ukrainian authorities, because Tusk sent him to Ukraine, and he was the chief of his state road company, and the other guys from Tusk cabinet was under investigation. So he wants simply revenge, but he didn't have a legal power, so he simply used force, and he did exactly the same with public media. And you also can find movies when he simply used police to attack buildings to change council in public media. Of course, public media also influence from current government. However, like in courts, in prosecutor office, the media in Poland has a cadency.
And explain the role of public media in Poland. In the United States, of course, everything is privately owned. They're all influenced one way or the other. CNN leans very left, Fox leans to the right. You know, they all have their bent, but none of that is controlled publicly. That is they're all privately owned. Explain public media in Poland.
So public media in Poland has lots of influence, especially in past, because it has in every region has own office, in television office, radio as well, and internet special offices as well. So it is a big power which you can gain almost everyone attention amid country. So it's very important media, and the directors of public media have cadency. So Tusk should wait until cadency, or he should change law if he win a presidential election. But he didn't want to wait, so he simply used force.
And then the other thing that I think is fascinating, this is different in the United States, is political parties in Poland are funded by the government. Explain how that works and what the concept of that is, why it's that way, and then let's talk about what has happened there.
Yeah. So the concept of this was that every parties in our system should be treated equally and should have public finance. Why? Because the concept of this is that if you have a private donors, there is some kind of exchange concept. So that's why our ancestors decide to create system which politicians will not have a big influence from private companies, private donors. Everyone should have public.
So every political party has some funds in which they can use to get their message out.
True, and of course, the size of this amount of this money is depends on the support in elections. So, if you have bigger support, you will have a bigger money.
And now that has changed, though, under your existing prime minister. Tell me what happened.
So, first time in our history, he decided to cut all funds for our party. And our party is the biggest party in Poland. We won last election, parliamentary election.
And is it just your party that got cut, or are there others as well?
Just our party.
And how publicly, how does he justify this?
Because he said that during campaign, we, for instance, we were using public assets to campaign. Like, we give during the campaign some kind of donations to firearms police offices during campaign, like every politician's doing so around the world. But he justified this, that it was unfair. We used public funds, and this is funny, but this is true.
And legally speaking, does the prime minister have the authority to decide whether or not an entire party gets funded? That he can just arbitrarily say no?
Directly, no. However, he appointed members in the special election council, which have power to decide on this. So his members in this special council decide to cut all funds for us, because we give some funds to police and to the other public sector, and in safety area. And then we, of course, after that we went to the court. And Supreme Court rules he should give us money back, but he like it was in public media and like it was in General Prosecutor Office, he disregards these rulings, and he said he don't care, and he simply sent a message on X that he don't care. So,
and is there no? There's no. I mean, I assume the Supreme Court is supposed to be the final word. So if he ignores the final word, is there any other recourse?
No, he simply, because this is the Supreme Court has the final word. So now we don't have any other place which we can go. So he simply disregards law.
All right, and then how does the public perceive this? There's an old saying that perception is reality. And so I'm always curious that even if people perceive things incorrectly, it is still reality if that's what they think it is. So how do the people of Poland perceive this? Do they think that he's doing a great job? Do they think that he is corrupt? Do they think that he is ignoring the law? What's the public perception?
So difficulty with the public perception in countries like Poland is that the media are in the leftist hands. So it's really difficult to find the channel to get with the truth to the citizens. However, we try to do it with the social media, but there is another obstacle, because Tusk just announced that bill which give him power to delete all. His officer power to delete all content in the internet he wants. So this is another step, unprecedented step in Western civilization.
So if you happen to be conservative in Poland, all of this sounds like bad news. What's the answer? Where do you go from here? What are the next steps?
So we try to build our social media channels. We are very happy that Elon Musk defend freedom on X. However, X is not that popular in Poland like in the United States. however, is rising, is growing. So we try to build the channels to get straight to the citizens, and of course we have in this year we have a presidential election. So we have a chance to win this election, and it will be a sign for Tusk that he should change something.
The focus then is on the election and for change.
Yeah, true.
Patryk, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you talking with me about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity.